Hello and welcome to the Baron's Game Room. What's your favorite scary movie? You better answer quick, or I'll gut you like a fish! I'm your Ghostface Mystery Murder, and I want to play a little game called Scream the Game. Scream is a real-time cooperative game for 3 to 8 players that does require an app to play. In this game, players will be working together to complete all of the scene cards before this handsome devil gets a hold of any of the players. For setup, place the location board in the center of the table. Place the Ghostface miniature next to it. Shuffle up the Scream cards and deal 3 to every player. Then place the remaining deck in the center of the table where all players can reach it. Lastly, take the scene cards. Be sure to remove any that don't match the player count for your game. Then shuffle the remaining ones, deal 1 to every player, and place the rest in the center of the table. Before you start the game, you will need to set up the app by setting up the number of players and a name for every player. Lastly, whoever most recently handled a knife gets this first player marker to start the game. On your turn, you may perform 1 of 3 actions. You may draw a card from the Scream deck and add it to your hand. You may trade a card with another player, or you may complete a scene by discarding the proper cards from your hand. If you do, be sure to discard away the scene card and draw a new scene card. Play will continue around the table with each player taking 1 of those actions and passing the knife along with him until you get a call. When you see this beautiful face on your phone, 1 of 3 things can happen. During a taunt, all players must look at their hand. If 3 or more cards in their hand show the Ghostface in the corner, then they must discard their entire hand. If Ghostface threatens the players, he will mention a specific location, like the hospital. You will place the Ghostface marker on the hospital, and you have until the next time he calls to either complete your scene that is at the hospital to get a new one, hoping to get a different location, or when he calls, you must have the proper item he asked for in your hand. If you don't, you have to discard your entire hand. However, if you do have the card he's looking for, like a DVD, you will simply discard the DVD he asked for and keep the rest of your hand. Last is a stalk. When Ghostface chooses to stalk a player, it will say their name on the phone. Place the Ghostface figure in front of that player. He will tell you exactly what item you need to have. You will have until he calls again to collect 3 of a certain item. If you can manage to collect 3 of the item before he calls again, you can discard those away and survive. But if you don't, you will die. If any player is ever killed, that's game over. All players must survive together or lose together. Keep in mind that throughout the game, you are only ever allowed to complete your own scene cards, not your friends. You can give them cards and trades, but they must complete their own scene cards. If you can complete all the scene cards without a player being eliminated, then you win, and you survive to play another day. If at any point during the game the Scream deck runs out, simply take the discard pile and flip it back over into a new deck. Don't waste your time shuffling. Before I give my review part of it, hey, TikTok, this is a fake game about a fake movie, okay? There is no actual violence being threatened or enacted upon any player in this game. It's all just fun pretend, okay, TikTok? Please, don't block my video. But anyway, pretty much your enjoyment of this game is going to come down to how much you like the stress of a real-time game. If you're someone who likes to take their time and figure out what they're going to do in their turn, it's not the game for you. It's really not. Because this is a boom, boom, boom. You have to be going, because Ghostface is going to continue to call you throughout the game. And I think it gets more and more frequent. I'm having trouble remembering right now, but I actually think there even might be an overall timer on the game as well. Yes, there is a timer. So that means if any player gets killed or the timer runs out, you lose the game. So this is something you have to stay on top of, moving really fast. Otherwise, the gameplay is super simple. It's, again, draw a card, trade a card, or just play the cards out to complete your scene. But Ghostface does really hinder that. he ends up calling a lot, making you have to discard your hands a whole lot of times. So you're doing a whole lot of, I can't focus on finishing my scene now because I have to make sure that player gets 3 popcorn before Scream calls again. Also, hey, to the app developers, I don't know if it's just a coincidence or not, but in my game, Ghostface really loves popcorn. Like, almost every time he calls, we get, show me 3 popcorn. But sometimes other stuff. Anyway, all the cards are fun little references to the thing. I love the popcorn, I love the stab movies, cell phones and all that. If you're a fan of Scream, I check it out. Again, if you like that stress of the fun, fast-paced, real-time stuff, I think it's a good time. If that's not for you, then stay far away from this game. As far as the app goes, it's a free little app. It's not hard to mess with or anything. It's got some good little music that plays in the background. Having Ghostface call in is a lot of fun to me. It seems for some reason that he really loves picking on my friend Will. That's always kind of funny. I don't have a lot of reasons to, not recommend the game as long as you're into this kind of stuff. A couple things I want to add quick before I give my verdict. The app does have a hard mode option, which I don't think we've done yet because we usually find the standard mode plenty hard enough. And it does have some language options. You can do like moderate language or the more intense language with that, which I'll be honest is really silly because even the regular language is nothing. Like, I couldn't imagine wanting to play a game about a serial killer but being like, I don't want him to use words like kill. I don't know. That seems silly to me. The moderate language just kind of sounded funny, especially since when we played the standard version, we were like, there's really no bad language here. We really expected them to use a few more lines from the movie, like the gut you like a fish one, which is, I think he's used in multiple movies. But that aside, I think they do the Scream theme well. If you're a fan of Scream or frantic gameplay, then Scream the Game is Baron approved. The heck was that? Hey, someone there? Come here! Ah! Guess you won't be in the sequel. It's fake, TikTok. It's fake. Look, I'm fine. It's a little cardboard. It's fake. I'm fine. TikTok, there's no violence. It's fake. I'm fine.